Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here recording episode 109, and it is a very special episode today because if you are watching on YouTube, you can see Jared and I are back in the flesh in Michigan, and this will be the homecoming episode today. So we'll be talking about what it feels like coming back home for me after 10 months, for Jared after 4 long years in Philly. Also, if you have not yet checked out our Travel Tips Philly, check it out. It's on YouTube. Jared has dropped plenty of dimes and gems on what you can see, what to do, and what to avoid in Philly. So, we are so happy to be here, talk about coming home, how it feels. We're going to do a gift exchange in a moment as well. I'm excited to see what Jared has brought for me. So without further ado, my good buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
How hilarious would it be if I just like took out like a wrapped piece of poop or something? F you. No, we are back. This is so exciting. Look at us right next to each other. And for those of you that don't know, if we're lucky, we'll be interrupted by the untranslatable owl in the flesh. Check out our Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, and you can see a picture of the infamous source of the untranslatable owl. And as I look at the clock, it's definitely not an owl, but that's what we call it. Also,
spread a little love.
A little janky today because once again, the setup has not been perfected. But
Spread a little love.
as I said, Instagram, Twitter, untranslatable1, the number 1. You can email us, untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your slide into those DMs in the inbox. Give us those untranslatables, which are sayings, idioms, proverbs, axioms if you're feeling spicy. And what they are, they don't make any sense if you translate them directly from whatever language they're in. But if you were to then translate them to, explain it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Also, topic ideas, travel tips ideas. We just dropped that Philly episode that Chad talked about. I hope you enjoyed it. Turns out I know more than I thought. Or also,
Spread a little love.
with those 5-star reviews, baby. 5-star reviews, baby. I don't need it in a text message. 5-star review that shit, baby.
That's right.
I'm so excited right now.
That's right.
It's good to be home. I was I just got here a couple days ago, and it was interesting because there's been we just had 4th of July weekend to break the fourth wall a little bit, the 4th of July wall. And people, did you know that for 4th of July, people often say happy holidays?
Really?
Yeah, I got a lot of happy holidays, and for the first couple, I was like, "What's the holiday?" I was like, "Oh right, it's 4th of July." But I was getting a lot of happy holidays, like it's Christmas or something.
Come on, man. It's not happy holidays. This is Merca Day. Come on.
Holidays. This is Jesus' second holiday after
right.
Christmas. But yeah, 4th of July was fun. Once again, I still haven't shot off a firework ever in my life. But the dude, I was at my neighbor's house, we'll get to that later, and someone brought Roman candles, and I saw him pop those off. That was cool.
Nice.
That was cool. Granted, though, with the Roman candles, at least one it had like 5 shots out of it. Mm-hmm. And I can imagine, it's starting to make sense why so many people blow their fingers off just witnessing that thing. Because it's like you got to keep track. If you pull that thing down too early.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's dangerous. It's real dangerous. That's for sure.
But regardless, it's good to be home. It's good to see you. And, our first reunion in America, on American soil, I had to give you I had to bring you a gift that was a little reminiscent of my time in Philadelphia.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've got a few things for you as well.
All right.
So I think it's time we do the gift exchange. We'll have to describe these for our listeners not watching on YouTube.
Right. Or just watch on YouTube.
There you go. Problem solved.
There you go, everyone.
Jared's our problem solver, everybody. So, Jared, would you like me to give the gift first, or would you like to go?
I'll start first.
Okay.
How many things do you have?
I think 4.
Shit.
I mean, they're small things. They're small things. It's about the thought. It's not about the things, people. It's about the thought.
Hold on. Let's pause this. I'm going to go back to Philly real quick.
To get some more gifts.
So we'll do like a 1 and 1. So
Okay.
I'll give you one first. And here it is. It's a Philadelphia pin.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Very nice. Frankly, Philadelphia, a city that speaks for itself, a community that speaks to you. I don't know if you know this, Jared, but I actually have a hat from Germany, one of those old school kind of green German hats with the feathers on them. Mm-hmm. I put pins on them.
There you go.
So this is going to go on that hat.
Perfect.
So good work.
You betcha.
All right, a 1 for 1. So, granted, I have to give a quick early shout out to Martin from Chomutov for the beautiful Pirati bag,
Oh, yeah.
which Pirati proud over here. So, first thing for you, we'll start out small.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, when Jared came, it was wintertime, so we did not get to visit
Ooh.
the valley. So that is the Bezruch Valley.
This is going to go up in my Harry Potter Studios 2.0.
Oh, there you go. Show it to the camera for everybody out there. So that is the Bezruch Valley in Chomutov, which is a beautiful place for nature.
Yeah, this is a lovely
absolutely
postcard.
fantastic.
Thank
Yep.
you. All right. You do one more since I only have one more.
Okay. All right. I got a couple of different ones here. So this one is kind of a funny story. So it looks like a little red canvas bag, and it says Isos, which is a school I guest taught for a day in Chomutov. And open it up.
All right.
See what's in there.
Condoms.
It's all condoms. Yes.
Actually kind of looks like a tampon.
That is bandages.
Oh.
So Isos is a school for nursing in Chomutov,
Interesting.
and so they gave me a couple of these things. And I thought, I know how much you love to hike and mountain bike.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little
And
thing you could attach to your bike, take it with you.
I'm also just very careless in general.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. So
That's a great idea. I have like obviously a camelback bag that I use for biking.
Right.
I'm just going to connect it to it.
exactly.
And I've definitely fallen off before, so this will come in handy. Thank you.
Right. No problem,
All
buddy.
right, my turn.
Yep.
You're giving me too much. I have one more. And now, here at the Untranslatable podcast, we used to do something that we called Beer of the Pod reviews.
Ooh, I already
that
know what this
might
is,
be
but I'm
a hint.
excited.
And I know Chad and I enjoy our beers. We're having a Bell-style Pilsner, and for all of our Czech listeners, don't worry. Yours is still better.
Ooh. Oh, look at that. Beer is living proof that God loves us
Yes.
and wants us to be happy. Ben Franklin.
Yes.
Beautiful mug. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. Shout
you
out
know
to
what?
Sydney, too. She helped me out with that one.
You know what? We're just going to do a quick little transferoo.
Oh, this is great. You probably should have
Into the
washed
new
that
mug.
first, but it's too late.
Well, too late. It's all right. It's all right. It'll be okay, I think. I trust the people of Philly. All right.
Oh, that's your first mistake.
All right. Well, cheers, buddy.
Prost.
I appreciate the mug.
Yeah.
Prost, na zdraví. That is a classy mug.
I thought you'd like that.
I do. I love
I'm
it.
glad.
So, Jared, obviously, you get the fancy Pirati bag, which I know that's what you're most excited about.
Yeah.
But I have a few other things. So this one, I don't know if you realize, but we actually got this while we were in Prague.
Oh.
And so I thought it would be a nice little memento for you.
Did we really?
Yeah, I grabbed one of those when we were out in Prague. I brought it
that's
back with
awesome.
me, and I realized that we grabbed it. So
You're so thoughtful, Chad.
what
Look
can
at
I
you.
say? And I have I didn't realize it was this much stuff, but you know,
great.
you're a great friend of mine. So next up,
Oh, I remember Stade Miesto?
yep.
Yes.
So I got another postcard for you from Chomutov.
Oh, this is cool. I remember this place.
Yep. That's the Radnica or town hall.
This is where we took that squad picture.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yes, it is.
This
So
is
check
so
out our
cool.
Instagram for that squad pic. So, of course. So I didn't realize it was this many things.
More than
Sorry.
4 things, but I'm not. I love this.
I'm not doing this to one up you, buddy, because the mug is
'Cause you've
great.
already
These
done
are
it.
all small, tiny things.
Yeah, but yours have thought behind them.
So did yours.
That's true.
So did yours. You need to give yourself more credit.
That's true.
So now we also have a little magnet I got at one of the Christmas markets in Vienna
Oh, wow.
to commemorate our good times in Vienna.
This is so cool.
So that's pretty nice right there.
Christkindlmarkt. Wiener Christkindlmarkt.
And then lastly,
This
I
will go on the
have-
fridge.
For sure. Yeah, a little housewarming gift for you. So
Yeah.
I mentioned to your lady
Mm-hmm.
that I have something that will be good, I think, for both of you.
Okay.
So here it is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Barron's 501 Spanish verbs.
For those of you that Sydney's in the background, that's why I'm pointing this to nothing. Oh, this is so great.
Yep. Because I'm sure you remember, I'm sure Sydney also remembers when I mentioned how difficult the conjugations were. Well, hopefully this will help you. I believe in the back there's like a glossary and some stuff. Ton of useful verbs. And so I figured that would be great for you.
Hey, Sydney. Abre abrazado. All right, never mind. we'll get back to that.
So, my last two things for you are, I got this because I wanted to
my
give you something
gosh.
in German, and that was where I visited the
Czech Switzerland.
Czech Switzerland. That's actually Saxon Switzerland, so that's across the border in Germany.
Wow.
But it's a nice magazine in German, and so I thought you could brush up on your German with that.
This will be great for the bathroom.
Yep.
And that sounds like a weird compliment.
It's a weird compliment, but I'm okay with it. It's all right.
I'm going to wipe my butt with... No, I'm kidding.
And the last one I got
so
for
cool.
you, I know how much you love to cook,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so
I hate you.
the cookbook
You're
from the national
much
soccer
a better
team.
friend than I am. Oh my
That's
gosh.
man.
These gifts are amazing.
What can I say? You're one of my best buds. It's the least
Oh
I
my
can do.
gosh, I love
so
this.
it's all in German. So
Oh, there's Royce.
everybody, I'm hoping this German cookbook will force Jared to play some soccer with me and then cook me a national team quality meal. We'll see if that happens.
How about... Now, I'm already mad at myself for bringing this up, but how about one time here in our new temporary studios until you leave me again, I'll come over and I'll cook us dinner one time.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Oh, yeah, here's Mullah just blasting past someone.
Yep.
I'm trying to find... I haven't found any food yet.
There's food.
Yeah,
All these
there's
recipes.
like stories in there, too. And it'd also be an added challenge because it's German, so there's grams.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And it's also in German, so I have to actually read the German. This is so cool.
Yeah. It's a
Thank
sweet
you,
book.
buddy. This is awesome.
And the most highly anticipated gift,
Yeah,
of
forget all
course,
this other stuff.
your bag.
Oh, thank you.
So I hope you
Wow.
enjoy. I appreciate being back with you. It's
Wow.
really great. And we hope you all enjoy our podcast while we're here in person because it
Yeah.
will definitely be slightly different, but we're excited to bring you some content.
Yeah,
But
Spread a little love.
the love is spread in real time. There's no computers in between us blocking
right.
that love.
that is right.
And speaking of which, let's
Spread a little love.
to some other people besides ourselves.
Exactly. And let's have you start, Jared.
Alrighty. Mine is something that I would rarely do, but love should be spread to everyone that deserves it. And since we're back here in Michigan, I tried to make this as much as a Michigan-themed episode as possible. And a Michigan news website that I love is MLive. I love that.
Great one.
It's great. And a Michigan church pays off medical debts of nearly 2,000 random families.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I mean, that's love being spread right there. And, maybe I don't agree with everything that happens at the church, but I agree with this 100%. Wyoming,
Absolutely.
Michigan, a city I've never heard of. It's in West Michigan. Almost 2,000 West Michigan families will receive a letter next week notifying them of a once-in-a-lifetime gift. Their medical debt is being paid off in full thanks to the work of a Wyoming church. Grand Rapids First Church announced it will pay off a total of $1,832,439.26 worth of local medical debt for 1,899 families randomly selected from Kent, Ottawa, Allegan, and Iona counties. The church, located at blah, 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 doesn't matter. You don't need to know the address.
That's true.
Partnered.
That's true.
This matters, but not the address. If you want to go, it's called the Grand Rapids First Church. You can find it. Google it. Partnered with RIP Medical Debt. That's a weird choice of a name, but okay. A New York-based nonprofit organization that buys up medical debt from collection agencies to forgive the debt of families. And that's crazy too. You already have to deal with being sick, being in a hospital, and then your medical debts, which are in the thousands, tens of thousands, get sent to collection agencies. You get scary calls all the time.
Yep.
It's messing with your credit score. Through a donation of $15,000 from the church, RIP Medical Debt purchased the medical debt of the West Michigan families for pennies on the dollar, making financial freedom possible for those steeped in debt. The debt forgiveness is no strings attached, but you now have to be a member of the church. No, I'm just kidding. And families won't have to pay taxes on the collection of debt income. And it's great. I think that's amazing.
Fantastic. Absolutely.
The largest debt eliminated by the gift, this is for one of the people, $75,581.
Wow.
$75,581.
You buy a house with that.
Yeah. Especially here in Dexter, where we are, you could buy a pretty substantial house with that.
Yeah. Out in the sticks for sure.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's just a ridiculous system that we have that it's like, in order to live, you have to essentially ruin the rest of your life if you don't have insurance, or if your insurance, not even if you don't have
it's
insurance.
terrible.
Some people have insurance, but it's not good
Not
enough
to
insurance.
cover.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame. Speaking of the medical field, My shout out goes out to
Spread a little love.
Dr. Carrie Andrew, I believe it's Yaya, who has retired in Pittsburgh from UPMC Hospital. However, he has garnered some fame for singing to every baby he has delivered. And so now in Pittsburgh, they have dedicated a day in his honor. So I think that's
Wow.
awesome. I mean, look, the joke is always...
We on the lodge with it.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. I mean, the joke is what? That people, like the doctor spanks the baby or something
Yeah.
like that, right? But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
this is way better. Sing to the baby, serenade them. I
Yeah.
think that's really awesome.
For sure.
So Dr. Carrie Andrew Yaya, we hope you have a wonderful retirement and thank you for all of your service in the medical field and to bringing these babies into a world of song. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
My next one, our shout-outs today are a little U.S.-centric, but that's okay.
We're happy
my
to be back
other
home. Well, I mean, I was always in the U.S., but
Right. I am very happy to be back. I miss my friends and coworkers in Komutov, but it's great to be back. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. So next up, out in Sacramento, California, there are now, it's now being put in place that there will be 2 years of free tuition at California community colleges, which is a huge thing because you can start out your college career there, get an associate's, and move on elsewhere, or even transfer to another school.
and it helps you get all of the sort of the BS classes that everyone has to take, regardless of the school, out of the way. So you can do like your mandatory pre-calculus class,
Right.
and then actually go to like a credit, like a non-community college, and actually just do your major.
Right.
For 2 years, and it'll be way cheaper.
Exactly. So I think it's really great that California is implementing this. It's absolutely fantastic. Hopefully other states will follow suit because we are one of the few countries in the world where students go into so much debt
Yes.
for college. So hopefully other states will take note. Great work, California. Keep up the good work. And with that being said, I think you happen to know what time it is.
Oh, I do.
Jared.
Oh, this is so exciting. Now, only if we were prepared enough to time it out perfectly.
With the actual clock, right?
But I'm sure it'll interrupt us later. This is the Untranslatable Owl. Check out our Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, and you'll see a picture of the clock that makes this beautiful sound effect happen on my phone here.
That's right. So, Jared, I'm going to start us off with some Dutch, which is not really how I feel, but I feel like you could use this phrase in our current situation right now, which is buitenbeentje, which means a small outside leg in Dutch. What do you think that means?
Small outside leg. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. Can you give me a clue of some sort?
So, you go out with your friends, and I'm a single man, as we've discussed. You're here with your lady friend. We're walking around, and I am the small outside
third
leg.
wheel.
Third wheel and or misfit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't call you a misfit.
No.
As Sydney probably feels like the misfit right now, if anything.
Poor Sydney. She's doing great though.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Small outside leg.
my first one's Hindi, and it's Sad Salamat to Pagdi Hazard, and it literally means if your head is intact, you can have 1,000 turbans.
So this just means that your mental health is super important. Yeah. I mean, if
Wow.
that was an easy one.
Really?
Yeah, that was an
Okay.
easy one.
Yeah, it says in troubled times, save your head first. Your possessions should not be your priority. You can buy worldly things anytime later.
Okay, interesting. So I'll give you another Dutch one.
That was good. I did not think that was as obvious.
Okay, I thought that was pretty clear.
Maybe I'm just an idiot.
I'm not so sure about that. My next one, I'll give you another Dutch one. And this is ergento aan was kunnen knopen, which means...
One of those words is can.
Yep. Or can't in this
okay.
case. I'm guessing maybe gain is kind.
Okay.
Like can't or no. It means they can't knot any rope to it.
KNOT.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can't knot any rope to it.
It's like you can't like you can't trust something.
Well, let me ask the judges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
We'll give it to you. It basically means that like if something's unclear.
Okay.
right? You know, you can't tie, you can't knot any.
It's
rope
really
to
bothering me. I'm gonna hold on one second. Whenever you turn to talk to me, you're away from the microphone. And
I think we're good though.
I mean,
We're good.
all right.
We're good levels wise. Don't
I feel
worry.
like I can hear it in my headphones, and it really bothers me. But if the computer says it's good,
I think we're good.
and the judges are happy.
The judges are definitely happy. So, Jared, give me your next untranslatable.
My next one's Korean, and it's Pali Nulib. Well, that's obviously how you say it. Pali Nulib Da, and it literally means wide feet.
Okay. Wide feet. You're going to have to help a brother out on this one.
When Don and I lived together in Royal Oak, Michigan, one thing I liked about having him as my roommate was that he had wide feet, and because of it, there were constantly, like especially on a Friday or a Saturday, people coming over to our house before they went out downtown.
So you're a social butterfly.
Yes.
Okay.
It's to have a
Have a wide net. Okay.
perfect
Okay.
wide social network.
Okay. So do you want Spanish first or Czech first?
Check. Let's finish with Spanish.
All right. So you heard that, everybody. Still have some Czech untranslatables after
flexing.
leaving the Czech Republic and coming back. So
Parada.
this one, Jared, this one is one that I think could be applicable to us in a moment, and it is hrc do babi, which literally means into the old woman.
Oh.
And no, I'm not hitting on you.
Oh my gosh, Chad. I'm blushing.
Hrc do babi.
Into the old woman. Is this like aging gracefully?
Nope. Has to do with drinking.
Oh, it's like get into your cups.
Basically means down the hatch.
Oh, okay. Into the old. So that's like what you say before you like chug a beer
Yep.
down.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Many freggies.
That's what I say.
Uh-huh.
My last one is also Korean, and it's Palbang Mi In, and it's 8 Direction Beauty.
8 Direction Beauty. So is this like the most beautiful?
No, less. It's more of an untranslatable than that.
Okay. Throwing me off with that easy one. Can you give me a clue?
Some people would say that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good example. Some people would say that. I can't think of a good example. I'm trying to think of a. Some people would say that Prince is an 8 Direction Beauty musically.
So like something really unique and rare.
No. He plays guitar. He plays piano. He's an amazing singer.
Yeah, so multi-talented.
Yeah, but that's
Or very versatile.
yeah, jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, okay.
I think the judges would give you that. That
They'll allow
counts.
it.
Yeah.
All right. My
8
last
Direction
one.
Beauty. I think the reason they do that is because it's like you look good from every angle. So it's like you're
That
good at
makes
something.
sense.
No matter what comes at you, you can handle it.
That makes sense. That's fair. My last one for you is Mexican Spanish, and it is bajale de huevos, which means lower
about
them
eggs.
from eggs.
Yes. Okay. I just had to flex real quick.
Right.
I'm learning, everyone.
I feel you.
Bajale de huevos. Lower them from eggs.
Yep.
Is it like just a way for calling people your kids?
No, that's a good guess.
I lowered you from my eggs.
I mean,
Respect me.
Huevos are used as like testicles, in Spanish, and actually, I mean, German. They use they use eggs as well. Mm-hmm. This is a phrase you would probably say to me very often.
Regarding the podcast?
In general, in life, in general, you would tell me this.
You need me.
Well, that's true, but no, you would. So, for example, maybe we're going to travel somewhere.
Oh, like calm down?
Hit that ham horn, my man.
That's all you had to
Hit
say.
that ham horn. Calm down. Exactly. Calm down.
Oh, like lower yourself from eggs. Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Calm down.
All right.
That's all I got for you.
Alrighty.
Do you have any more?
That's all I got too.
All right, so let's
Good to
move
be
on.
back. Yeah.
It is great to be back. And so today we'll be talking about being back home, back in the mitten, what it feels like. Mm-hmm. I'm also curious to see what are some things you have really wanted to do, and we can talk about some things for me as well.
Okay.
But first off, let's get a little sentimental. Let's talk about feelings. What does it feel like for you to be back here after being gone for so long?
Wow. It's a little weird because it does almost kind of feel a little foreign.
Okay.
Like not foreign in the sense of like not the culture, Oh, the culture, yeah, actually, yeah, but not like not as an American, but it does feel like I'm kind of like a visit, like it's a newer than it actually is to me.
Okay.
And I was driving around the other day, going to multiple runs to Target, getting all those odds and ends and stuff that I never plan on getting, but that's what happens when you go to Target. And
Typical, yeah.
and it's like it's so. I almost feel it almost annoys me like how often I have to use navigation, for example, where it's like I know this area, I know this. And so, like for example, when I go home today from your place, I'm going to challenge myself not use navigation because I've come to your place many times before. We used to always hang out, and I didn't need navigation to get here. And like once I got off the freeway, I was like, oh, I remember how to get here. This is no longer emotional, but it just feels like it feels less like familiar than I thought it would. Even though I recognize things and I see things, like I still feel like I'm not a Michigander in a weird way.
Interesting. Okay.
And like it's not that I don't think. Well, it's like when people are like, "Oh, where are you coming from?" It's like, "Well, I'm coming from Philadelphia, but I'm from here." But like, obviously that's true, but it does feel a little disingenuous in a weird way.
Yeah. I wonder how long it will take you until you feel like you're a Michigander again.
I don't know.
4 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. That's how long it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel like a real Philadelphia person, and I'm gone. So.
Right. Yeah. That's life, though, man. That's a crazy thing. You know, you get used to a place and you get comfortable, and then on to the next chapter, on to the next adventure, you know? And so it's really wild. For me, I feel a little differently because I feel in a way kind of like I'm in limbo. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm happy to be here. I love to see my parents and my dog, and, you know, you're up here, you see all my musical instruments everywhere.
Yes.
I have amps over here, guitars over there.
We're going to jam after this.
We are, which will be great. But, you know, the other strange thing, too, is like, I feel like I'm in limbo because right now I'm not working. Mm-hmm. And I'll be helping my parents out with some things around the house. But overall, like, it feels freeing in a way to not have anything to do. But I also feel like I'm kind of like just floating. Yeah. Like I don't have any set. And I need to make some goals for this summer. That's one thing I need to do. We can talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I need to make some goals. I need to, you know, make a more concrete plan of what I want to do because, you know, I've only been back to the States now for 3 days, right? Today's the 5th.
Yeah.
So 3 days.
Yep.
3 days. And I already feel like I've wasted time, even though I've been back for 3 days because, you know, I'll be leaving in late August on to the next chapter. And so,
what would you have to, what would make you feel more comfortable about your time usage?
I guess one, I want to come up with a good practice regimen for guitar because I have a lot of time and I have a lot of nice instruments to noodle around on while I'm here.
I see some of them here.
Yep. And so that's one thing, make a practice regimen, workout routine as well. I want to start lifting with my dad more often.
Does he still lift regularly?
Once in a while.
Okay.
Once in a while. So yeah. I think that the main thing too is like trying to figure out, and I need to reach out to more of my friends and also figure out, you know, what we'll be doing.
Yeah, I'm the first Michigan friend you've seen.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's good though. It feels great to be back home. I've been here 3 days. I would say like 60-70% adjusted to the time. I still get a little tired at night. One, because I think that's normal, but two, my body thinks it's still way later. Right. Believe it or not, I'm not. Sometimes I thought I was during my time in the Czech Republic, but yeah. So it's good though, you know. And the thing is that I think one of the things I realized that I kind of missed quite a bit coming back here was just how beautiful it is nature-wise. I mean, it's gorgeous in the Czech Republic.
Especially out where you live, too.
Oh, yeah, and I was on the 9th floor, so that was nice. But here, you know, we're also kind of more in the country. We're in a neighborhood about, 6-7 miles from town. Mm-hmm. So it's close enough where I can get to places if I need to, if there's events or things going on. It's far enough that we have our little chunk of heaven here. So it's nice.
You feel you have the privacy. You feel alone. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed my drive out here. I forgot how green it is over here, especially at this time of the year. And I loved it. It was great. I love coming here too. I actually now, for the first time ever, I live in a house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I've lived in apartments galore. I lived in sort of a townhouse thing in Philadelphia. An apartment before that. I moved halfway during my time there. And it was so funny. So we were, I was talking about this at dinner, but we were, sitting down with the leasing lady the other day, getting our keys and stuff like that. And she was going through all the things we have to do. We have to take care of the gutters, make sure they're clear. We have to take care of the lawn. We have to mow the lawn ourselves. We also have to. Now, this is something I never thought about because I've never lived in that. Well, I've lived in a house. I've never been the responsible for a house. Let's put it that way. I've lived in my parents' houses, obviously, but is that, and also in Michigan specifically, is that for the hose you have to turn off the water in winter, or else you have a chance of bursting pipes.
Yep.
And also another thing is, if you go on vacation, which once I start working again, I plan to get ready for some on the road agains.
That's right.
You also have to. You can't turn your heat all the way off. So they say just put it to the lowest temperature.
Yep.
Or else,
I remember
once again,
doing that
stuff
back
will
in the day.
freeze.
Yeah, exactly.
And as she was telling me all this, I'm like, I don't think I'm responsible enough to live in a house.
Right.
I think I just need to go back to an apartment where I can just call someone whenever anything immediately goes wrong. And so it's a lot of cleaning I got to use to, a lot of upkeep. But I'm really excited. It's cool to live in a house. In my last place, in my first apartment I lived in Philadelphia, my neighbors argued a lot.
Okay.
And it was so funny too. There would be times where I legitimately just have my ear up to the
Yes.
to the wall.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'd be like, this is very unhealthy because one, the girlfriend or wife or whatever would often call her husband or boyfriend or whatever an idiot, an asshole, stupid.
Uh-oh.
But then also he kind of deserved it because he'd be like, I just got home from work. I'm so tired. Do we have to talk about this now? I'm like, that's not going to go well.
Nope. Please tell me he told her to calm down.
Yeah, I think he might have.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my gosh! And also,
slipping on gator.
And then in my next place, which I had more space, but it was a townhouse, and so I was connected to the people next to me, and the walls were so thin, so you could hear footsteps, my neighbor's vicious dog. You could hear that thing barking all the time, and so it's nice to have the it was so nice to go to sleep in complete silence.
Yeah.
That's something I've honestly never had before. Or since I lived, with my parents.
Great. It's so great.
And before that, I lived with Don. And so I lived in an apartment then. And before that, I lived in a fraternity. So it was
never silent.
Never silent.
Nope.
And so I look forward to that a lot. I really look forward to that. And let me go through a little bit the process of finding a place because that was stressful AF.
Sure. Yeah.
So I came to Michigan. You guys remember I was in the Best Western a couple weeks ago. And then I was looking for a place to stay. And I found, two places I really liked. One of them I really, really liked. The other one was this is a good second place runner-up. And I was like, well, this is Saturday that I'm looking for the places, so I'll apply on Monday. Luckily, Sydney convinced us to apply on Sunday on the drive back. We were applying in the car.
Nice.
But still, Ferndale, where I live, is super hot these days. Stuff is getting swooped up. So, excuse me, I applied on Monday. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so someone applied the day before us and got both of the places.
Oh, dang.
And so I was like, well, crap. So I got to go back to Michigan because I was so nervous about finding a place that there's a bit where I was just considering without even going there, applying to places. But I was like, that's a big risk.
It's a bold move.
Because I saw a couple places that I liked in the pictures, and we went there, and it's this place is awful. And so
Sure, yeah.
I came back when I was in the Holiday Inn and Suites, unlike our Holiday Inn Express, unlike our judges that required a Four Seasons hotel room, but whatever. They're the best judges in the podcast game. So I found two places I liked again. And this time, your boy was not effing around. So what I did was, one of the places I saw was at 2 o'clock, and I had another place that I had to see at 4 o'clock. So I saw the place 12:30. So I saw that place, and I really liked it. Really, really liked it. And I was and there were a lot of people in there. I was waiting to get an application because she was handing out paper applications. There were people in front of me waiting to get applications. And I was sizing people up. She was like, well, my boyfriend, he's still in college right now, but he'll move out here when we move out here. And I just started a nursing job, and I was like, oh, I could beat her. I was like, he's still in college? Oh, I can beat this guy. But I was super stressed out. And so literally, I felt like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. Like, as soon as I got that application, I was like driving out of there like crazy. I was like, I gotta get home. I gotta get to the hotel. And I was racing to the hotel, and I got caught up by a funeral procession. So I skipped an.
Oh no!
So I was at a light, and they were going like through the crossway through it. So I skipped an entire like set of lights. I was like, no, why'd you have to die? No. And I got back to the hotel, and they have like that business center. And so like they had a scanner there too, so I was scanning stuff and printing stuff. And as I was almost done, I was so close to being done with the printer portion of it. No joke, the power went out in the hotel.
Of course it did.
And so the power went out, and I was like, no! And so like I went to a library, and I had to print out to the library, but it was kind of not tough, but usually you have to have a library card and live in that area, but I didn't have it yet, but they let me do it anyway.
Nice.
And so I did that.
Shout out.
And at this point, it was about when the power went out, it was about 3:00, and my next viewing was at 4:00, and I didn't want to obviously leave the lady waiting, and I was trying to get this in as quick as possible. So like I felt like have you know the show 24 where there's like the clock ticking
hours.
down?
Yeah.
I felt like I was staring at my clock, and I was like, no, I gotta finish this. I was like typing everything really fast, and then I literally delivered the application in hand to the office, and then shot down to the next place, and then I essentially did the same thing again because I like that place too, and I didn't want to just apply to one place. Luckily, I got both of them.
Nice.
And obviously, I took the one that I liked for the first one that I was just talking about. I took that one, and it was great. And I got the other one too. And I almost and she's the second one that I liked responded first and said, "Yeah, but you need to give a deposit to save the place." Mm-hmm. And I was like, I feel like it was like $500, and I was like, that's a lot of money, but I really don't want to not have a place. Sure. So I was really considering paying that deposit, but she took a while to respond to me, and luckily for me, while she was taking a while to respond, the other place told me I got it. So I got it.
The stars aligned for you, buddy.
Whew. And then I had the movers come, and that was I didn't have to do any of the work, but it was still kind of stressful because I was just like,
Sure.
And then I came here, and I got here yesterday, or 2 days ago, and I moved into my place, and it's been cool. I like it. I met my neighbors. I'll get into that later, but
So now let me ask you, has it, for me, as I mentioned while we were eating dinner earlier, for me it hasn't really completely sunk in somehow that I'm really here. Has it sunk in for you?
I think it's different for me because I have my own place.
Okay.
So I think, yes, it has sunk in and to that level. And
you're starting work on Monday too.
That too, yeah. I'm starting work in 2 days. And so it's getting pretty real for me. Quite easier. I think it's easier for it to be real for me than it is for you because you're not.
I feel like I'm on vacation.
You are on vacation essentially, and it's very real to me. So no, it didn't take long at all because I literally left my place super early in Philadelphia and drove straight to the leasing office, and like didn't even stop anywhere. And I mean, I guess besides for rest stops and stuff, and so like I got my keys immediately. And I think just having my own place makes it feel a little bit realer than it probably would for you. And so, it feels real. It feels good. And it also feels good to when I was first thinking that I might have to like stay with a family friend for a bit. It feels nice to be in my own place, except for I'm living very Spartan right now. Not much in my house because the movers take a bunch of stuff and then it takes 5 to 10 business days to get it to me. And so I have an air mattress, which is surprisingly comfortable.
Nice.
I was expecting to wake up with like serious back pain every morning, like
walking around with a cane or a walker,
like halfway off of it because it deflated in the middle of the night.
Right.
But it's actually surprisingly comfortable. And then my house is essentially empty. I bought like just like a simple IKEA table and 2 chairs just to kind of hold us over. But there's really nothing in my house right now. But it's mine and ours. Let's be clear. And so that makes it feel very real, and I love it. It's great. It's a very nice house. I love my neighbors. There's 2 of them I met, and they're cool. But yeah, how does it feel being home for you?
It's good. It feels interesting because, when I lived alone, I could pretty much do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Mm-hmm. Didn't really have to tell my parents what I was up to. What could they do? I was an ocean away. So here it's
You're
a little
grounded.
Right.
Don't leave.
Right. So here it's definitely different. Having to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do this. I was thankfully this morning I woke up early. Naturally, just because I'm not used to the time change just yet. And it was like 7:30. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Dexter Bakery, get some delicious donuts, surprise my parents, and they were closed. But, you know, other than sneaking out at 7:30 in the morning, usually I tell my parents where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's an adjustment, you know, when you're 27 and still, and I understand where they're coming from. You know, it's their house. They care about me. They want to know I'm safe. I get it.
And I think it's hard for, even though they, you know, they're not going to tell you can't do something. They're not going to like ground you. But it's hard for just being parents to just like have you leave and not know where you're going. Like, it's just like their natural parent instincts to be like, where are you going? Even though you don't, I guess, technically have to tell them.
Exactly. And my mom would say that all the time. You know, when I was at Albion, she didn't really worry. When I was in Vienna, when I was in the Czech Republic, it didn't really matter because, you know, she couldn't really do anything about it. Whereas here, I'm close enough where, you know, if there were problems, she could physically help me in other ways that she really couldn't while I was abroad.
When you went to the bathroom, she was telling Sydney and I how happy she is to have you home.
Oh,
she
nice.
said she missed you.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
And you're also, for those of you that don't know, Chad's a mama's boy.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
A great relationship.
Yeah, we do. We do have a great relationship. And, you know, the other thing that's nice is I'm happy to be here so I can help my parents out. You know, they're getting older. There's certain things that they just can't do as easily as they could when they were younger.
Right.
So it'll be really good to help them out with those things.
Yeah, like cleaning out the basement.
Exactly. And hopefully we'll have a different place to record some podcasts, and my dad can also start painting again, which will be great. But yeah, I have to also say, though, man, the other thing that I really enjoy about Michigan, which I have observed my first 3 days here, is just that Midwestern friendliness,
Dude,
man.
I was about to say that. Even I've noticed that.
Midwestern friendliness. I mean, I was walking around with my mom earlier. She did get a couple things at the hardware store and, you know, some other like small errands. Doesn't really matter. But there were so many people just like making small talk with people, and they didn't know each other.
Right.
And it was totally normal, totally fine.
We, my sister, I was here last week looking for my place, and my sister and I went to Frida, what do you call it? The Inn Ann Arbor, the Cuban... Frida
Banditos?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I think so.
And they have outdoor tables, and it's sort of like a communal, like it's a bench setup, so like multiple people will sit right next to each other. And these two older, actually, the dad kind of reminded me of your dad, just visually.
Yeah.
And they
he looked like Santa Claus.
He did, yeah. They asked if they could sit next to us. We're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And we didn't say like that. We're very nice people. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
But you know, they just like this sort of, you know, immediately started striking up conversation. And well, what first happened was the guy was like, oh, I forgot to, his wife was inside ordering. He's like, oh, he was kind of, he had a cane, so he wasn't like as capable to just hop up and be like, oh, let me go. So he was like, oh, I forgot to ask my wife for you know, that I wanted a two-hearted. And so my sister went and told his wife.
Nice.
And she came outside, and we were just talking about, like, you know, just Midwestern small talk. We're talking about they have kids. One of their kids is in the what is it, the Foreign Legion? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Well, but that's like where like you go to different countries and like
I think so.
Yeah. And she's lived in a lot of crazy places, a lot of cool places, a lot of scary places.
Or maybe the Foreign Service.
There we go. Yeah, yes. And it was just like, you know, talking about our families, and we were talking about, you know, the fact that we lived in Germany and that my sister speaks French and blah 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 blah.
Did you plug the podcast?
They're not going to listen.
Oh, you should have plugged the podcast. Be like, tell your Foreign Service daughter about the Untranslatable podcast.
I should have. Yeah, I didn't do that.
But yeah, I love the Midwestern friendliness, man. Like, people in the Czech Republic are friendly once you get to know them. But at least what I experience is there's a bit of a barrier.
Right.
And here, that barrier just doesn't exist. Now, I don't think friendships here are necessarily as deep as a lot of the ones that I experience in the Czech Republic. But, I mean, for all intensive purposes, you know, being able to just strike up a conversation with someone on the street is nice sometimes.
Yeah, you know, coming from me that usually hates that stuff, even I sort of enjoyed it. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice. And they had interesting stuff to talk about. They were funny. And, like, even coming from Philadelphia where, yes, it's America, and yes, there's still that sort of, hey, how you doing to strangers, just because of the very nature that it's, like, of being a bigger city, there's less of that just, like, strike up full conversations like that, even in Philadelphia.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was really nice, and it reminded me kind of why I like being here. It was definitely nice. And speaking of another reason why I like being here, so as soon as, well, not as soon, but like when we got to our place, in the driveway next to us was my neighbor's friend, Mike. Shout out to Mike, he's really cool. And he was, and he's like, oh, did you guys just move in here? And we're like, yeah, literally just, a couple hours ago. He's like, oh, meet your neighbors. And he literally like dragged us over to meet our neighbor. He's like, hey, Jonah. And Jonah, our neighbor, he was outside he got a brand new weed whacker that he was testing out.
Fancy, nice.
And so, he introduced himself. We had a quick chit chat, and then also he was like, "Hey, you guys want to come in for a beer?" And we're like, unfortunately, we're about to go get dinner. We haven't eaten in hours. And he's like, "That's cool, but come over tomorrow. We're having a barbecue." And I was like, "Oh, I love this." And so, the next day we were putting together that IKEA stuff that I was talking about.
Fun times.
I didn't mention IKEA. We also went to IKEA. We were putting together that IKEA stuff, and we needed a screwdriver that we didn't have, and Sydney went over to Jonah, and he gave us a whole kit and electric screw, like a electric drill thingy.
He's the man.
And he's like, hey, don't forget to come over to the barbecue later. And so we went over. And we had a great time. We played this game where it essentially has you choose like a decade, and it has like I think it's called catchphrase, and it has like.
I love catchphrase.
And so we were like passing it around, like
catchphrase is so great.
Giving clues about stuff.
Can I explain catchphrase to our listeners out there?
For sure.
Because I've actually thought about using it as a teaching tool.
It's super fun. I mean, we were playing a lot, and it's just a great way to make conversation about
for
stuff.
Sure. And it's fun. It's entertaining. So what catchphrase is? It's this device. It's this round-shaped device.
Yep.
And they have different ones. They have ones that are decades. They have ones that are just
maybe like different genres, like movie or
exactly. And so it's like this disc, and you select, the decade or a
topic, a genre,
exactly. And then you hit start, and you make teams. And at least the way I've always played it,
we just did it. Like one person was doing it to everyone. There were like 6 or 7 of us there.
That would be fun. Okay, we used to always play teams, like 2v2, 3v3, 4v4.
But we made it like a drinking game too.
Also could, very easily be implemented as a drinking game. But yeah, and it's great. So you have a word, like maybe the word is, I don't know, microphone.
Yeah, or like hashtag.
Yeah, and you can't say the word, so you have to describe it. So if we were playing catchphrase right now, I would say, if the word was microphone, I would say, yeah, it's the thing Jared uses when he podcasts, and then Jared would go, microphone. And then
let me give you one. Let me give you a quick example.
Ooh, okay.
Well, this will be super easy because it's going to be podcast related.
Do a non-podcast one.
Okay.
If that's too easy. Or give me the easy one first and then give me a harder one.
All right, okay. It involves a jingle from a clock. It involves idioms.
What, untranslatable phrases?
There you go.
Untranslatable specific. Nice.
All right, let me think of a more difficult one. Let's think of a category first. What's a good category to go with? Something untranslatable podcast related.
Untranslatable podcast.
But doesn't have to do with this podcast specifically, but something that we would talk about. A country, maybe choosing a country.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I got one. We'll do countries. I got one. Okay. I'll describe it, and we'll see if you can figure it out. All right. So this country is very well known for their tidiness. Also very well known for how anal they are about recycling.
Germany.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
So that's basically catchphrase for all of our listeners out there. Yeah. So that's awesome. So you guys played catchphrase.
Yeah. And
had some tasty barbecue, I would assume.
Yes, he was commanding the grill. He did a great job. And he also he had friends that he invited over. We met some of them. I mentioned Mike, who it seems like they're very close. I'll be seeing a lot of him.
Sweet.
And I met another neighbor that he invited that was the other side of us. I don't remember his name because I was actually recording the travel tips episode.
There you go.
When he showed up, so
priorities.
Right. I did leave for. This is what we do for you people, by the way. I left for 40 minutes to record the podcast, and I went back, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be right back. I got to do something." You know me, afraid to bring up the podcast, but
should have told him.
Sydney did.
Yes.
And when I got back, someone asked me about it. He's like, "So you do a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." And I told him well, this was a travel tips one, but we also do twice a week where we talk about general
all sorts of
travel,
stuff.
Culture, language, teaching related topics.
You name it, we have probably talked about it.
Yeah,
to some extent.
109 episodes, baby.
That's right.
Still going strong. So it was really cool. And I never in Philadelphia at both my apartment and then my sort of townhouse apartment thing that I lived in, I never had any sort of relationship with my neighbors. I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, me either, unfortunately.
The only relationship I had with my neighbors that lived right above me was because their dog attacked me.
And not the best relationship, that's for sure.
And then I met another guy that's super nice. I think his name was Chris, that lived like a couple houses down when I first moved there. But then I never talked to him after that, other than just like waving to him.
Sure.
So I am super excited to not only like have a relationship, but potentially be like friends with them. I think that'll be. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for that. And luckily, you know, Sydney and I were talking about this. Luckily, we actually liked him. Like, we weren't like,
yeah, that is
people are
good.
annoying.
Right. Oh, that's the worst. If you don't care for your neighbors, yeah, that's no good.
And so it was really cool. I like getting to know them. Moving is expensive. Did you know that?
And time consuming.
Yes. So luckily, as far as like the big stuff, like getting movers, my company took care of that. But like, especially moving into a place where I don't have my stuff for a couple days, we've done one run to IKEA to get some simple stuff like a lamp. That table I talked about and some other stuff. And then we did, in the past 3 days that we've been here, we've gone to Target maybe 3 to 4 times. Right. And then we did a trip to Marshall's. It's just like, and there's still more stuff we need.
Oh,
and it's even harder too, because like I'm unemployed. So it's,
right.
So it feels like it's so hard it's tough. It's tough, but it's exciting, but also you forget how much stuff you have.
Definitely.
Like when I was doing the actual move, like packing of the stuff I was going to bring with me in my car, I was like, man, I don't know how I did this, but it was literally perfect. Like my car was packed, like, you know, I had to save it like to the side so they wouldn't pack it. And I was like, oh, this is fine. This will fit in my car. It was like sliding stuff in, like,
yeah.
It was
playing Tetris in your car, basically.
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous, and it was actually so tight that my windows are tinted, and on one of my back windows, something kept scraping up against the window, so there's like a scrape in my windows. Huh? Yeah,
that's one thing I can agree with. That when I came back to my parents' house, I had forgotten about all the stuff I have here.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the things I did remember were all my music equipment. That was easy.
Yeah, you had dreams about your music.
Oh, I did. It's so great.
Instruments.
My fingers were so sore yesterday, man. I played guitar for so long. But the other thing I didn't realize was just all the papers and documents and things that I've saved during my time at grad school. Gifts and presents and small things. So it's great to, I took a nice little trip down memory lane the last few days. Mm-hmm. I also need to sort through my clothes because I've accumulated just too much in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That I think is manageable. Oh, there's the clock
real deal
right there.
That's the
no more untranslatables today, people. Sorry. But but it's really nice, to just be in a place where you have everything you need, and you'll get there soon.
Yeah.
You're in that weird adjustment phase. I'm lucky where, I have all my stuff, I have all my clothes, toiletries, everything I need is here.
Stuff because you even have like your furniture from East Lansing.
I have too much stuff. Yeah, I do. But it's been good. So now I want to ask you, Jared, what are some Michigan staples or things that you are super excited to be able to do again now that you are back in the mitten?
So this morning, Sydney and I went to Leo's Coney Island.
There you go.
For breakfast.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to the Coney Islands. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm looking forward to the fact that in Pennsylvania, and this is, excuse me, I just burped into the microphone. This is very apropos for what I'm about to talk about. But like, and a lot of other states are like this too. To buy alcohol, you have to go to, in Pennsylvania,
a designated store, right?
Yeah, Pennsylvania specifically has a liquor/wine store, and then beer is a separate store.
Oh, geez. And that sounds so complicated.
Now they're starting to put beer and wine into grocery stores, but that was new since I got there.
Okay.
And so you have to go to, if you want liquor, you got to go to one store. You want beer, you got to go to a different store.
Oh, geez. Michigan, that's so much work.
They don't care.
Nope.
Gas stations, CVS, anywhere you can buy alcohol. So even that's weird, but I'm excited for that too. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to do a lot of outdoor activities. Last week when I was here, my sister and I went kayaking on the Huron River. That was a lot of fun. And I would like to do more of that. I think maybe I'll definitely do more of that. More outdoor activities like that. I'm looking forward to, I'm a mountain biker, and I'm looking forward to going back to some of my hot spots that I used to go to.
Which are where? Can you tell us? Is it a secret hotspot?
Yeah, we're so big that people are going to show up and try to get pictures with me.
That's right.
No, shoot. One, I can't remember that. One's called Mayberry, I think, in Novi. The other one, my favorite one, I can't remember what it's called, but I know where it is, in Pontiac.
Okay, nice.
But I'm excited for like my old go-to spots. I really enjoyed Wissahickon, which was a big spot in Philadelphia that I went to. But I'm really excited to go back to those spots. I'm excited to do a lot of more traveling in Michigan. So, like, especially Sydney, who's never been to Michigan before, a couple weeks ago, I want to go to places like Grand Rapids and maybe go to the beach.
I'd love to tag along if you'd let me be the small outside leg.
You're welcome to be the small outside. I feel bad putting you in those situations. That's why, like, I wanted you to come over yesterday because I feel bad, like, bringing her along in a weird way.
Don't feel bad. She's great.
She is great, and it just feels like I just don't want to be like, hey, could I bring my girlfriend?
No, you're good. You're not one of those guys, my man. Don't you worry. Never worry about that.
And so I'm excited to go to. Here are some spots I definitely want to hit. I'm sure there's more that I'll come up with later. Grand Rapids / Holland area for the beach.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Traverse City, definitely. Canada. Mm-hmm. So that's not in Michigan, but we're definitely gonna go to Canada. Last time we were here, I showed her around Detroit, and I was like, "That's Canada right there." Just so you know that
across the river. Yep.
Yeah,
right there.
Where are some other ones? I want to go to. I want to go to Ludington.
That's on my list.
That's a great. I used my cousin Chris, as you know him very well, too well.
Oh, good times.
His family used to have a cabin in Idlewild, which is right next to Ludington, and so I want to go back there.
So beautiful over there.
Beautiful, and it's right. It's there are a lot of cool sand dunes there, and it's right on Lake Michigan, and so those are some places I really want to visit. I'm excited to find a new piano teacher.
I'm helping Jared out with that, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, another one I meant to, of course, Ann Arbor. So we went to Zingerman's yesterday. I talked about that, but we didn't really go around Ann Arbor. So
That's definitely a must.
I'm excited to go back to Ann Arbor. That's one of my favorite cities around here. And I'm just excited to also experience the new stuff and the stuff that I haven't experienced before. So like a lot of cool restaurants in Ferndale that I've, even though I lived in Royal Oak, which is, for those of you that don't know, right next to Ferndale, there's a lot of cool places in Ferndale that have just popped up or that I've never experienced that I'm looking forward to seeing. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. We got a lot of cool concerts that we want to go to. Obviously, we're going to be recording as much as possible in person.
Definitely.
And so I'm looking forward to our old
jam sessions as well.
Our old school slumber parties that we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to hanging out with you too.
Me too. Yeah, I have to say Ludington is on my list as well. I want to go back to Lansing and East Lansing. And one thing that might be fun for you and also for Sydney would be come with me to Lansing and East Lansing. Mm-hmm. We go to the Capitol. Yeah. And if we time it right, they have free tours. I think it's every hour on the hour in the Capitol building, which is pretty cool. They have some original flags from way, way back when, which is pretty sweet.
We can show her some of our East Lansing stomping grounds.
Yep. And if depending on the day we go, I know all the restaurant specials there, so we can...
Yeah, Dublin, that's one of them.
Yep, on Wednesdays at Dublin. Yep.
Remember those two dancers we saw that one time that were going to town when we were in Dublin?
Oh, yeah. Good times. Oh, man. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in East Lansing. So, yeah, so I'm hoping to go back there, visit some friends as well. What else do I want to do? Obviously, go to Ann Arbor. There's a lot of great events going on this summer. Mm-hmm. On Thursdays in Chelsea, Michigan, they have it's called Sights and Sounds, and they have basically free concerts all over Chelsea, which is like the next town over from where I'm living right now. So yeah, there's a lot of small events. I also want to go to some Detroit City Football Club soccer matches as well.
Hit me up.
Yep. Oh, I will. There's a lot to do, and that's one of the best things about being home is it feels almost automatic. Like there's just so much knowledge you have of the region, the place, the things to do that, I didn't have when I was in the Czech Republic. People would have to tell me, sadly, a lot of times I would find out afterwards about a cool event. And I'm like, well, and yeah, you can Google it and like find stuff, but if you don't know the specific wording, you can't find it. So.
And it's great for you too, because you're essentially kind of on vacation, yet you're, you know exactly what's happening, and you can hit all sort of the cool insider Michigan stuff that you'd have to either know someone or do the right Googling to find it if you're in another country or city or something.
Exactly. And let me give you my quick little list, Jared, of some other Michigan things I want to do. One, I I want to go hiking there's a trail near the Huron River. So
Okay.
that's number 1. 2, as I've mentioned on a couple episodes back, get a Coney dog, ideally from A&W because that's the best spot around here in Dexter.
Have you been to either? What are those two places right next to each other in Detroit? Lafayette. I can't think of the other one. Like the original Coney.
Yeah,
Coney
I've been
places.
to them I think once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah, but that would be fun as well. Definitely want to try to make it to a Tigers game this summer. That's always a good time
Once again,
as well.
hit me up.
Yep, for sure. This summer is basically just gonna be Jared and I hanging out. That's basically this episode in a nutshell. That's what we're talking about.
We're just planning our own hangout sessions right now.
Exactly. But yeah, and then obviously Dexter Bakery Donuts is another big one. If you are ever near Dexter, Michigan, to all our listeners out there, check out the Dexter Bakery. When I
You
get
betcha.
the donuts, hopefully tomorrow, I'll take a picture. I'll upload it to the Instagram because
Please. They're
so good.
I think this is the one time I don't want you to upload a picture. I'm going to be so mad. I'm like,
Right.
I'm so close yet so far.
Exactly. It's all right. I'll get some donuts for our slumber party. Don't you worry, buddy. But yeah, so it'll just be great. You know, I also want to just kind of walk around, explore some other cities and towns here near Dexter as well.
Do you have any interest in going to Albion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to go see Albion. The problem is now that it's summertime, it'll be fairly dead.
Right.
That's the good and the bad about college campuses during the summer is they're dead. So the lines at the restaurants are short. There's no wait, things like this.
But there's a lot of cool new stuff that's been going on there since we left. Like there's a new brewery there.
Right.
They opened.
that'd be fun to
I think
check
they
out.
reopened the movie theater.
Yeah, they did. The Bohm. Yep.
And it'll be cool to go to. Like I would love to go back to La Casa.
Oh, for sure.
Get a picture.
Oh, good times. That's the other thing. I'm super pumped to have really delicious Mexican food again. There's one place in Prague called Las Adelitas. If you're ever there, I think they have pretty decent Mexican food, but it can't touch legit Mexican food. And then I would say Americanized Mexican food's also maybe number 2.
Like Taco Bell.
Oh, God.
I think that's even below Americanized.
For sure.
Mexican food.
I actually haven't
That's
been
just
there
American
yet.
food.
Right, for sure. I haven't actually been there yet. I'm trying to not, I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I don't want to eat a ton of fast food and I don't want
How is
to
that
gain weight.
ridiculous? That's probably a good move is to not want to gain weight
it
and not
is.
want to eat fast food.
It is, but remember a few episodes ago, I told you I cannot wait to get Taco
right.
Bell and eat fast food again.
But you're going to feel guilty about it like, as soon as you do it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm so happy to be back, not only with you. Like, this is, in a weird way, even more exciting to me than when we were together in Prague and Berlin. Because this is like back to the old days of us hanging out.
Yeah.
Back to the bonus. We spent a lot of hours in this room together. Obviously, you more than me because you live here.
right.
But I'm just really excited that we're back together like this. It's super exciting.
It's
for me.
fun. Yeah. And who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Almost the exact same day.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
came
crazy.
back.
Yeah. It's really crazy. But yeah. And, I think another thing I want to mention too is for all of our listeners out there, Jared and I are both fortunate. For us, coming home is a good thing. It's not always a great thing for everybody, and it can be a difficult adjustment. I will say that when I came back from Vienna, Austria, it was really difficult for me at the beginning to be back here because when you get used to city living and then you move to a small town out in the country, you're back with your parents, you have all these rules. There are some adjustments, but I think one of the most important things, depending on your situation, is there has to be very clear communication with your parents or with whoever you are staying with. What are the rules and expectations? Because as you get older, they might change a little bit, Now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an expectation that I help, but, I want
feel
to.
like a piece of shit if you don't.
Well, sure, of course. But the other thing is, too, like, my parents are being, nice enough to let me stay here rent-free. Not that
Right.
I could afford rent right now anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But, the thing is that the older I get, the more I want to just be able to help them out.
Yeah.
And so it's a good feeling when I'm physically here and I can do that.
I understand what you're saying. I think in a sense, because I think as we get older and start being, supporting ourselves, I also too start to appreciate like what all the sacrifices and all like the money it took to raise me and
Absolutely.
my sister. Like you don't realize
Kids
that
are
until
expensive.
Yeah, dude. And like you don't realize that till you actually start having to make your own money and pay for your own stuff. It's like
Absolutely.
Like, even I at my last job, like I made like a good salary, and like I'm like people have and still do raise kids on less than this.
Yeah.
I don't know how
for sure.
they do it.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
So irresponsible.
Right. But yeah, and I think the important thing too is that when you're home or you come home from wherever you were, try to reach out to those friends and family members that you haven't seen. It might be a little awkward at first, especially if you haven't really corresponded with them in a long period of time. But I think it's worth it. I've reached out to some people at MSU that I haven't talked to in, over 10 months. Mm-hmm. But I'm really looking forward to seeing them again sometime soon. I think that's another really good tip for anyone coming back home from a new place or moving to a place that was once familiar but has now become unfamiliar due to time, whatever. It's really good to have those people to talk to lean on. And obviously, we would love to hear from any of you. If you ever have any of those problems, let us know. untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com.
You betcha.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to mention that, but yeah, I'm excited to essentially reconnect with some friends that are like I consider my best friends. Like for example, Guardo, obviously one of my very closest friends from college.
Right.
And like we neither him nor I are good at keeping up with each other, so we don't talk often. But like I made a point to text him the other day and be like, I'm coming back. We got to hang out. We got to make this a normal thing now that we're going to be relatively close to each other. And my buddy Chris, our buddy Chris, as I mentioned to you, he's leaving soon to move to a different state. But like it's
bummer.
It's exciting, and it's also sort of like I don't know, in a weird way, it's like it reminds you why you should be keeping up with these people even if you're not conveniently close to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm terrible at that as well.
Yeah,
we
both are. We both are. I mean, we were bad at that with each other before we started the pod.
Right. So keep up with your friends, your family members, and hopefully that will make your adjustment coming home a little bit easier.
You betcha.
So
I don't like when you can see that I'm about to put on. I like to surprise you with them.
It's fun to be surprised, that's for sure. You gotta just hold. Oh yeah, because it's with the microphone. You gotta get a third mic down there just for the drops.
We could totally do that.
Oh geez,
but we'll have a better setup where I can just have it connected straight to the system in the next couple episodes.
So Jared, what else? What else do you have to add about being home, being back in the mitten?
It's good to be close to family. My sister goes to grad school at U of M. That's cool. And like she's married and she lives with a husband. I would like to now. You might actually be a good person to ask about this. I like my brother-in-law. That's what you call her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, brother, but I was like, yeah, that's right.
Brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law. I'm black. I like him a lot. He's really cool, but he's kind of like he's kind of quiet, like I am. And like I don't know how to establish a relationship with them, Like it feels kind of weird almost.
But you kind of have to, you don't really. I mean, you could, I guess not.
Like we're good at chit chatting, like when my sister's around.
Okay.
But like when it's like I don't know how to like for example, my sister right now, she is for her grad school, she's doing an internship and she's in Chicago and then Mexico for 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. And so like her husband Jeff, he has a job, so he's still in Michigan, and like he's 45 minutes away from me, and theoretically he's another person that I could be hanging out with, and he's essentially family at this point.
I think you should. I think
I just don't know how to like. I feel so uncomfortable being like, hey, let's hang out, but that's a normal thing to say, I guess, isn't it?
Well, I think this stems from, we're going to dig deep into Jared's psyche here, everybody. I think this stems from, I only know this because you have told me this, that you feel like you are...
Yes, I already know where you're going with this.
You feel like sometimes you're annoying people or you're bothering people or a burden or however you want to phrase it. And I think you just need to get out of that mindset because... Look, man, I enjoy spending time with you. You are never and have never and never will be a burden to me or any of those things. And you just have to view that the same with your brother-in-law.
Right.
And the thing is, I mean, in terms of establishing a relationship with him.
Have you done that with like your sister-in-law?
Somewhat. I mean, I like him. We talk once in a while. The big thing is you got to find out his passions and hope that some of those are similar to some of yours.
He plays drums. He needs to come over here.
Oh, he should. Does he have drums at his place?
No, he doesn't.
I don't have drums. Okay,
Right.
well.
Yeah, but he's a musician. He likes music. We do talk about music. Whenever I go there, I always talk about the newest stuff I'm listening to and stuff like that.
That's perfect though. And I mean, I think the big thing is as well, if you show him that you're interested in trying to establish a relationship,
right,
I think you will. But if it's always just kind of, I think whenever you show anyone you're genuinely interested, it draws them to you a bit. But if there have been times when we've done this podcast and I'm trying to prep for the next segment or whatever, and you will say, "Oh, Chad's not listening," and it sucks though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sucks. And so that's what you have to do, I think, is find out what he's interested in. You already know, share those interests, especially, I realized I met a guy before I left Prague and we had a hour-long conversation about music. I realized I think I could meet almost anybody, and if we have a few bands in common, we could be friends immediately.
Right.
So yeah, I would say do that, and do something nice for him. Take him out to dinner. Not right now, but once you start getting them fat paychecks, them fat stacks rolling in, take him to dinner.
Let me treat you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, because I like him, but it's not that it's awkward around him, but it's just like we're more like acquaintances, and I'm like, you're right there, and
that's normal.
And he's kind of like me in the sense too that he's super quiet, like around strangers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
not
but
that we're strangers. We're now family.
I think does he like to drink?
Yeah. He'll have a beer or two.
Easy. You just go over there, have a slumber party with him, or go hang out and have some drinks with him. I'll come pick you up and you can have a slumber party over here. 'Cause I'm not that far from Ann Arbor. But have some drinks with him. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but that's like the way people open up the easiest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Get a couple drinks in them and start talking.
Encouragement.
Exactly. Yeah. My other thing though that I've been struggling with here is just the temper. How do you even say it? The temporarity, is that a word?
I don't know, but
it is now. Just the fact that me being here right now is so temporary.
Yeah.
I'm only here for 2 months, and to me, it almost makes me not want to get out there because I'm like, well, what's the point of even making new friends? You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, does it put a bee in your bonnet? There's another untranslatable right there. That's far away, but you can hear it. Does it put a bee in your bonnet to do as much as you can in the time that you have, or I guess it doesn't. It makes you feel like, what's the point? Because I'm leaving again soon. Right.
So, well, what it does is it makes you reevaluate your priorities. Right. My 2 priorities here are help my parents.
Right.
3 priorities: help my parents, play lots of music, do some awesome podcasts with you.
Right.
Those are really the 3 main things. And obviously as well, see my friends is also very important as well. But, it depends on timing, if they're free, if they're working, what they're doing. There's more factors to it. But at the same
I guess
time...
that's a good point. They have jobs.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right. And so my problem is that, well, in a way, I think, what's the point of going out and meeting new friends when I'll just be going to a new destination?
You sound like me right now.
I know, right? Maybe you're rubbing off on me, buddy. But that's the thing, and also with dating. I've been talking to a few girls. I might actually have a date lined up next week. We'll see. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm kind of like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
What I would guess would happen. So go on a few dates with some girl. We'll have fun. Maybe I'll really start to like her, and then I gotta go. Or even worse, I really fall for her and I have to go. I met a girl in Prague that I really, really, really liked. Shout out to Danielle if you're listening.
Okay.
You never know. But, she was just great. I really enjoyed spending every second with her, had a lot of fun with her. She was so clever and so witty. I hope, to be honest, I hope we still stay in touch. Just, as friends and everything like that, because she's so great. I think she has a really bright future. But the thing is, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of don't know what to do because it's kind of, it's like the saying in English, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'll just be sitting here, not that I mind sitting here playing my guitars all day.
But you don't want to put your life on pause.
Exactly.
But then also, and I assume, one, because of the short amount of time you're going to be home.
Yep.
And 2, it's, we're not going to talk about where he's going to be next, but it'll be about 2 months of us here together in person. But then also, because of your previous experience with long-distance relationships, I'm sure you are very against or not into getting into one right now.
Yeah, no.
Even especially hard now. Like, not only, like, before your relationship, that was a long-distance relationship. You guys were together for, like, 2 years before that, or 3 years before that.
Yeah, long time.
And now it's almost impossible, almost, I would say, kind of foolish to get into a long-distance relationship.
I agree.
Having only,
100%.
like, dated for a month or two.
100%. But I will say this. You know, I mean, yeah, I talked a lot in the Czech Republic about how great Czech girls are because they're very beautiful, and some of them were, you know, really great.
Mm-hmm. I have a hangnail. It's really bothering me. Sorry.
You're good. But, like, girls in Michigan are also pretty great. I mean, look, here's the truth.
Girls are great everywhere.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
I said it first.
You're right. You're right. And so, but, you know, I mean, girls from Michigan, it's a bit different just because, you know, we have that connection of being
a little more relatable.
Exactly.
Right.
And all that. Speaking of Michigan, though, I think it's time we talk about our song of the pod. What do you think?
You and I are already both cheesing. Just thinking about this.
This song of the pod is something else. So, Jared, well, first of all, it's by GMAC Cash called We on the Lodge With It. Can you explain the story of why we chose this song?
Well, you have the news story in front of you, but I'll explain sort of where it came from on just my uneducated, and then we can read a little from the news story. Chat's playing it underneath us, and I'm trying not to laugh. But so the Lodge Freeway is a very popular freeway in the Metro Detroit area, and it is M10, as we call it here in Michigan.
Yep.
And recently, there's been a lot of people shutting. There have been a lot of people shutting down the Lodge Freeway to do burnouts and like dance on the freeway and like do drag racing. And it's been a pretty you have the story up right there. And it's been a pretty big issue too because that was something else. Sorry.
I was trying to find the lyrics. Continue though.
Oh, gotcha. And it's been a pretty big issue, obviously, because the freeway is getting shut down.
Right.
And people are just having tomfoolery. But we're trying to make this a Michigan-centric episode. And so we tried to find not only is this a very Michigan song, we could have chosen some Eminem song or not Kid Rock.
That'd be too easy.
I'm not doing Kid Rock on our podcast.
Nope.
I'm not doing, what's his face, too, the old Kid Rock.
Ted Nugent?
There we go.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not playing him on I'm not featuring him on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But this is not only is it very Michigan based, but this has been happening within like the past week. So this is very relevant too. Mm-hmm. And this song is a hip hop song.
Yeah, July 2nd.
We on the Lodge With It. It is hilarious.
It's great. It's a banger, my man.
Oh my gosh.
We on the Lodge With It. Came out July 2nd.
Yes, but it's actually a pretty legitimate issue that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's crazy is there's all sorts of memes now, and there's news articles. There's one from Detroit Free Press. I can't talk anymore.
With a whole bunch of like donut marks, tire marks on the freeway.
Yeah, skid marks aren't the only impact left by Dodge Hellcats doing donuts on the John C. Lodge Freeway
Hellcat Scat Pecs.
That's right. That's right. GMAC Cash, as We on the Lodge With It, published Monday, transforms the rallying cry of the woman who filmed the viral video into the chorus of a song about last weekend's illicit slideshow. So there you go. They blocked off the freeway in Detroit, and We on the Lodge With It. So check out our Twitter, Untranslatable1, for our song of the pod. This is definitely not the typical song we post, but hey, sometimes it's good to change things up a bit.
Maybe don't play this one for your children.
Probably not. We are a family podcast, so this is not a family-friendly song for your kids. But if you're riding down the street and you're 6'4" and you want to bust out some good rap music.
Good job getting that engine right.
That's right.
Or the 6'2" if it's a Hellcat, but 6'4" is the Scat Pack, so you're right.
That's right.
Get a little nerdy there. I'm sorry.
So there you go. So check that out. We on the Lodge With It by GMAC Cash came out on Monday, so it's nice and fresh. Untranslatable1 on Twitter and Untranslatable Podcast
and it's
on YouTube.
Sorry. It's not only like hilarious, but it's not bad. Like it's not a bad song.
It's good. Jared and I, we were listening to it earlier and we were just cracking up and dancing. So it's great. So check it out.
Yes.
It's fantastic and definitely a good little homage to being back in the mitten.
Homage.
So I probably will not continue my Czech words of the pod for too much longer. I don't know if this will be the last one, but I figured this word would be very fitting for today's episode. And the Czech word of the pod is sladky.
Home?
Sladky. No, dom would be dum.
No, I said home.
Yeah, home is dum.
Oh, I thought you were saying, I thought that was dumb.
No.
Sorry.
No. Sladký means sweet.
Oh,
Because it feels so sweet to be home, and we have a saying in English, home sweet home.
Okay. All right. I like that one. Yeah. Mine is, now the reason I brought this up is because I'll get to the word in a second. I started watching a show, a Spanish show. Well, Mexican, but obviously they speak Spanish.
Right.
And I'm addicted. I'm not even kidding.
Nice. What show?
It's called Falsa Identidad.
Identidad?
There we go. Falsa Identidad or Identidad. It's Identidad,
Okay.
excuse me. And it's about so there's a guy that's a criminal, and he works for one of the biggest like kingpins in the area. And he does like sort of not petty crime, but he like steals gas and stuff like that.
Okay.
And his brother is the mayor of that town. It's Alamos in Sonora. And his brother's the mayor, so he gets into a lot of trouble with the kingpin because he's sleeping with the kingpin's wife. And he's also, he was engaged to the kingpin's daughter, so it's even worse that he's sleeping with the wife. And so the kingpin wants to kill him, obviously, because that's how you solve disputes when you're a drug kingpin.
Of course, sure, yeah, sure.
And so there's two stories kind of going on at once. So there's that story, and then there's also a woman, obviously in the same area, Sonora, Alamos, Sonora. She is in an abusive relationship with her husband, and she has 2 kids. And for some reason, so she's trying to get away from him, and she sneaks out and goes to stay with her grandmother, but that's sort of temporary because her husband knows that she always goes there, and also her husband's dad is the chief of police, so he kind of helps him out, and it's hard for her to like go to the police about it because he'll just like sweep it under the rug. And so she wants to escape him, and then Diego, the other guy, wants to escape the kingpin trying to kill him because he's obviously not going to stop till he does. And so that's where Falsa Identidad comes in.
So he needs a fake identity.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he, his brother, who's the mayor, hooks him and that woman up with fake passports, U.S. passports.
Nice.
And they have to pretend to be a married couple. And this is weird because so the woman has 2 kids, a son and a daughter, but she can only bring one of the son.
Ooh.
And so the daughter's still back home. And that adds a wrinkle to it because the dad's trying to get in touch with the daughter and all that stuff. But I was like, you guys can make fake passports, but you can, like, and you did this
Right,
so
you
quickly,
can't-
but you
you
can't just
can't.
make one more.
Right.
And so the 3 of them have to pretend to be a family, and they move to Texas, and but still the people like the kingpin's like henchmen, employees are in Texas still trying to find them.
Of course they are, sure.
And so I'm only on episode 3, so that's as much information as I have so far. But if you want, I'll keep talking about it because it is.
Okay.
Me and my sister started.
It's on
watching
Netflix?
It. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and my sister started watching it when I was here last week, and I turned Sydney onto it, and she got into it pretty quickly
Nice.
too. So it's very.
I'm gonna start watching it. Sounds
It's very
good.
like telenovela-esque, but not as like it's not as soap opera-y.
Okay, good.
It's not like dramatic, like ¿Por qué?
Jorge, ¿por qué?
But it is like very like soap opera, like it is, you know, it's a little cheesy, but it's the Spanish is easy to follow. Like obviously I don't understand everything, but like for someone like Sydney that's essentially fluent,
Right.
like she can like for example, I watched the first 3 episodes with my sister, and so when I rewatched them with Sydney. You can do subtitles in English, but we did subtitles also in Spanish too. So I
Nice.
watched it again,
Nice.
knowing what the general plot was with the subtitles in Spanish. So I thought that was a great way to learn a little
cool.
Spanish too. And one word that I want to bring up, you'll know what it is, but they say this all the time on the show, is cabrón.
Yes.
They are often saying cabrón, which has a lot of different meanings. It's
Yeah.
kind of an insult. It means bully or like asshole or bastard, scumbag, lowlife.
You can use it as an endearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it also is just like a way of saying like bro or my
Yeah.
guy or
Yeah.
dude.
Cabrón.
And so it's very versatile. The
a great
kingpin says
word.
it to insult people, but then also Diego says it to his friend
Yeah.
and his brother.
Uh-huh.
And so it's a very versatile word, and I've been saying it around
a
from time to
great
time
word.
because it's just stuck in my head.
It's a great
Cabrón.
word.
And it's fun to it's fun to say.
Rolls off the tongue real good.
Yeah,
That's true.
I really like the show, and I'm going to keep watching it.
Nice. Very nice. Well, Jared,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I had some jokes up here from Michigan, but I decided, you know what? I've lived here long enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with my own joke. So
right.
here we go, Jared. You're getting one and one only. So one shot. As Eminem says, you only got one shot. So here we
Don't
go.
miss your chance to blow.
That's right. So, Jared, What is the summer flower of Michigan?
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Say it.
The construction cone.
Good work. Good work. It's true, though. It is so true. There is
Oh my
always so
gosh.
much construction here in the summer.
These roads are terrible. You know, it's so funny. The first time I drove here with Sydney, I was talking about how it's hilarious because when you go from Ohio to Michigan,
Oh, you can tell.
it's immediately the roads get worse. Like
Yep.
here, you see the "Welcome to Michigan," and it's just like.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's so
She
true.
thought I was exaggerating. She's like, "Oh, you weren't exaggerating at all. Like, no,
Nope.
it's immediately worse."
Exactly. So there you go. So watch out for our summer flowers here in Michigan,
Yes.
aka construction cones. So I have to say, it's great to be back.
This has been so much fun already.
It's been so exciting to do an episode in person for all of you. And yeah, we're excited to bring you some more content over the summer in Michigan together, based on all sorts of stuff, language, culture, what have you.
You betcha.
Hopefully, some trips.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. And I would say the quote for this pod is that one of the best things about being home is being able to reconnect with your friends and your family.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been great. And not only is it great to see you, it's great to see your parents too. Your parents love me. I'm gonna.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No
And I
doubt
love them
about it.
too. I love coming here. It feels like a second home almost.
Good. Well, I'm glad, buddy, because I hope this will be your second home during my stay here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you all have enjoyed our episode today, what it has been like coming home for the two of us. Let us know what it's been like for you when you've had to go back home from wherever that may be. We would love to hear about it at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know how you adjust, some things you look forward to. Just reach out. We would love to hear from you. Also, check out our Instagram. There are going to be many beautiful pictures of Michigan. We might need to get that sunset right there in just a second.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So so check that out. Untranslatable Podcast on Instagram.
Spread a little love.
Check out our YouTube channel for our videos, playlists for Song of the Pod, and hopefully some new foreign language playlists coming your way soon. So keep your eyes out for that. And lastly, please do not forget 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. It would mean the world to us. Give us some feedback what we can do to make this podcast better for you. So thank you. And as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Děkujeme a muchas gracias.